Krillin and Gohan are the heroes. They have a problem. Frieza's soldiers attack and destroy the ship. This sets a negative tone. Krillin and Gohan solve the problem by mopping the goons, creating a tone reversal back to positive. Vegeta is the main character of his own POV. His problem is Kui, which he quickly solves by killing him. Goku is shown traveling to Namek, which will become important later. The heroes face soldier problem too. Frieza's army mops some Namekians, so the heroes try to solve it by interrupting and saving some. Almost every time there is a problem followed by a solution, there is a negative to positive reversal. This results in the Dodoria problem. He chases them, so the first solution is running and hiding. But, as a result of Vegeta having his own mission, he shows up and becomes the solution for the heroes, killing Dodoria. That's result chaining, but as a result, the heroes have a Vegeta problem because he isn't on their side. They solve this by hiding. Vegeta's overarching problem is that he needs to collect the Dragon Balls. He makes incremental progress on this when he attacks some Namekians and hides a ball. All three parties, the heroes, Vegeta, and Frieza's army, are actually after the same overarching goal, which leads to Vegeta's Zarbon problem. In the fight, he starts off winning, but then he loses. A positive to negative reversal. DBZ isn't really good at tactics, but it's great at power dynamic reversals and fast pacing. By quickly moving through these simple fights of power and speed, the impact of the lack of tactics is decreased, and the excitement of the rapid tone shifting story is increased. As a result of his loss, he's captured and put in a tank so that he can tell them where he hid the Dragon Ball. I'll call that the capture problem. He solves this by breaking out and then makes his progress on his grand goal by scattering their Dragon Balls. Negative to positive reversal. This results in the collection problem for Vegeta. While recollecting the balls, Vegeta sees Krillin holding one. Now, the POVs really start to weave together. Zarbon chases Vegeta, who chases Krillin. Vegeta has a Zarbon problem too, but he wins as a result of the Zenkai boost from his previous loss. Result chaining. The heroes have a Vegeta problem again, but this time they fail and he robs them. Zarbon's death is positive, but the stolen ball is negative. Gohan hides his ball so it's not a total failure. They escape Vegeta again, but he catches them again. However, the Vegeta problem is halted by the Ginyu Force problem. A new threat is arriving. That's the end of part 1. The plot focuses on how three parties who want the same thing compete and interact with each other. One way of looking at it is that all three have their own plot cycles with the same goal, but how they attack the problem is different. The heroes have hit and run tactics, mostly focusing on hiding and gathering in secret. Vegeta's more guns blazing, directly taking down Frieza's soldiers one by one. Frieza's army focuses on collecting the Dragon Balls and usually only fights in response to the other parties. On top of that, the way actions in one cycle affect another cycle creates a complex web. These plot cycles have great power dynamic reversals. Speaking of which, that's what the fights focus on. Instead of being complex and drawn out, they are often simple and short-lived. The result is that the fights on their own are underwhelming, but as a cog in the machine, as one of the many reversals in the plot cycle, they are entertaining and maintain the fast pacing of the plot. It's kind of genius when I think about it like that. From an engineering perspective, good plot is good problem solving. In this video, I analyze the problem solving in the Freeza saga and show how well written it is. The story is constantly introducing, resolving, and weaving problems in a seemingly chaotic fashion that is actually controlled by great engineering. Plot writing techniques include result chaining, try-fail, nested problems, and incremental solutions. I'll analyze how this saga uses them. In part 2, Krillin, Gohan, and Vegeta form one team. The grand problem is still collecting the balls. They almost gather all 7, but the Ginyu Force robs them. Positive to negative. This is the Ginyu Force problem, which is split up into multiple fights. In the Guldo fight, it starts neutral. When the heroes are about to die, it's a negative reversal. When Vegeta kills him, it's a positive reversal. Then, Recoome. Vegeta starts winning in the positive, but Recoome coming back creates a negative reversal. The Earthlings jumping is a positive reversal, and then them getting swept is a negative reversal. Goku showing up is a positive reversal. This was set up ahead of time, and the reason he came late was well explained, allowing the heroes to struggle and create multiple tone reversals. Meanwhile, Frieza gets all 7 Dragon Balls, but there's a language barrier. The language problem is a nested problem within the Dragon Ball problem. He has to pass the language to pass the Dragon Ball. Goku whoops Recoome, then he destroys Jason Birder, keeping the positive tone. Vegeta kills 2 of the defeated enemies for good measure, while Jace runs away. The Ginyu Force problem is being incrementally solved with each defeated member. As a result of the heroes doing so well, Ginyu hides the 7 balls, while Frieza kills some Namekians. Hiding the balls could be a future problem for the heroes. When Goku shows up, they have a 1v1. The tone is neutral. The Kaioken flex is a positive reversal, but Ginyu's body switch creates a negative reversal. The tone stays negative when Ginyu fights the rest of the team, but it switches to positive when they start winning. Vegeta killing Jace adds to that. Ginyu's switch attempt is negative. Goku swapping back is positive. Ginyu's second attempt is negative. Goku's frog trick is positive and ends the fight. With all the members defeated, the Ginyu Force problem is solved. After Frieza beats up Nail, he realizes Dende is the key to the language problem and chases him down. which is where Krillin is also headed as a result of the Ginyu problem being solved. The heroes get Dende and he makes a wish for them. Dende solves their language problem, solving their Dragon Ball wish problem. As a result, Piccolo is wished back to life, creating a positive tone. But it starts going neutral when Frieza closes in, and negative when Vegeta demands his own wish. When Dende is about to do it, the tone reverses to neutral because the Elder dies, killing the Dragon Balls. He dies as a result of the stress Frieza called, which means that result caused a new problem. The Dragon Balls don't work, thus result chaining. Then Frieza appears, reversing it to negative. The rotating team members on both sides and Ginyu's power did a good job at creating fast-paced reversals. Having multiple characters made the fights like a complex revolving door. Once again, the quick nature of the fights and the focus on cool choreography minimizes the tactical weaknesses. That brings us to part 3. Since it's just a fight from here on, I'll just explain who has the power in the dynamic. It starts equal. Frieza has the power when he transforms. The heroes have power when Gohan gets angry. Frieza takes back power on Gohan. The heroes return the dynamic to neutral with Destructo Disc and Dende's healing. Then Piccolo arrives as a result of being revived. He takes back the power for the heroes. Then Frieza takes it back and transforms to further the gap. Gohan briefly takes it back with his Zenkai boost, but Frieza and Piccolo counter each other to reach a neutral. Vegeta gets a Zenkai boost, but power is stripped from them when final Frieza kills Dende. Vegeta returns it to neutral with his reaction time, but Frieza takes the power back. Goku finally recovers from the results of the Ginyu problem and shows up to take power back for the heroes. Frieza has the power when he kills Vegeta. When the 1v1 starts, the power is neutral. They take turns having minor reversals, but the power goes to Frieza when he starts using his fists. It gets worse when King Kai reveals that Goku is using Kaioken times 10 and still losing. The heroes neutral the power dynamic when Piccolo distracts Frieza for Goku's Spirit Bomb. The heroes have the power when it seems like Frieza is dead, but then it reverses when he kills the squad. It reverses back to the heroes when Goku unlocks Super Saiyan. Goku proceeds to clobber Frieza. Almost every chapter has a reversal, keeping the story engaging. The messy magic system allows characters to make massive leaps in power, creating powerful reversals. It's bad for the magic system, but great for the plot development. It's also cool how the status of the strongest on the hero side keeps switching. Gohan, Vegeta, Piccolo, and Goku each got their chance. Furthermore, as a result of the Ginyu problem, Goku had to be healed, which allowed other characters to shine in his absence, and it gave him a Zenkai boost, which is part of their solution later. For me, part 1 was the best plot-wise, because beating the opponent wasn't the goal. All the fights were smaller steps in reaching the goal, nested problems, making the plot more complex. It also had 3 competing parties, adding to the complexity. Even though parts 2 and 3 were mostly focused on beating the opponent, they mastered power dynamic reversals through power levels. I have gained a much deeper appreciation for the fights in this saga and the Android saga. If you look at the fights individually and analyze the quality, they definitely leave much to be desired. But at the end of the day, what matters more? The quality of individual fights or the quality of the whole story? World Trigger's Rank Wars has some of the best fights in the story, but if you ask me if I'd rather read Rank Wars start to finish, or the Frieza saga, I'm taking the Frieza saga. The saga sacrificed the quality of individual fights to increase the rapid pacing and reversals in the plot. If the plot gets insanely better in exchange for fight tactics, that's a difference I'm willing to accept. The fights being short power level battles allows them to pass by. Technically, you could keep the fights short and tactical. Yu Yu Hakusho's Dark Tournament and Chapter Black are great examples of that. Shibuya Incident is the perfect comparison, which I already have a video on. Other good examples are Golden Wind and Fairy Tail's Phantom Lord arc. All of these examples are what I'd call battle manga efficiency. Short back-to-back fights that keep the story going at 200 miles per hour. In conclusion, there is actually storytelling value in DBZ plots like the Frieza saga. Subscribe for more academic analysis on anime.